Good afternoon, Mr. John Crow, and welcome to beautiful Grenada's section of our discussion called Grenadians Abroad. It's nice to meet you.
Pleasure. The pleasure is mine.
I see you're holding two mangoes.
I know. I walk in here and I get two mangoes. I don't know if it's mine to eat or not, or if it's just for a prop. I don't know. But anyway.
No, actually, you can have them if you like.
For real?
One for you and one for your wife.
No wife in here?
No, but you can take it home.
Yeah, but she and I don't know how I get mango.
You want to take one home? I'll tell her.
But anyway, that's that.
Yes.
That's nice.
So
Long mango, that too, you know.
yeah. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So one of the first questions I want to ask you is, how long have you been in the United States?
The last time I did the calculation, I think about 40 years.
You've been away from home for 40 years?
Yeah.
Do you get opportunities to go home often?
I was home last December.
Mm-hmm.
December of 2019.
And do you go home every year? Or?
Not every year, but you know, I would say that regular enough.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, regular. You know, as regular as time and schedule. As a matter of fact, I'm going home now a lot more regular than I did in the first. I would say the first 20 years.
Yes.
First 20 years was a long.
So what were you
period.
doing for the first 20 years that made it?
Oh, work and school and responsibilities and I'm afraid of immigration, so I didn't have my green card.
So you were living in America without a green card
I was
for a
living in
long
America,
time.
but not a very long time, but long enough.
Yeah.
I'm scared, but no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm just putting that in.
So
I always had travel
mhm.
access efficiency at a very early time.
Yeah. So do you feel that you've taken Grenada with you to the United States?
Oh God, yes. But my accent alone is a giveaway. And this is a true story, right? I was on the road with a touring company one time, because I also do theater, and we were in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, and Spyro Gyra, famous musician, the band was loading out from that theater we were performing as we were loading in. And so we had a whole lot of, you know, traveling props and what have you. So we were to put the stuff in the theater and then go to the hotel and then come back in for rehearsals and what have you. And the people who were outloading Spyro Gyra was taking their sweet time. And I'm like, yo, we need the space now. You guys getting out, so then get your shit off the, you know, and then let's go. And so one of my, I think she was production manager or sound engineer, I forget what position she had, and she came up to me and said, John Crow, man, come on, you have to tone it down a little bit, man, because your accent, you know, you. I said, accent? What are you talking about accent? You know, she said, I'm the stage manager, and I need my stuff in, they need to get the hell out. And so she got this attitude with me because I guess my accent offended her. Fast forward several years later, we were someplace else, and somebody got her angry. And the Trinidadian just fly out of your mouth. Like I tell you, oh God, now you can't do so, blah, 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 blah. I said, oh shit, you from Trinidad? And you telling me about accent? Go wait. Go move. So, I mean, it's one of those kind of moments when you say like this, But no, my Grenadianness has never left me. I'm a proud Grenadian, born and raised. And everywhere I go, I mean, I've kind of tell you the number of places where I've been, and I'm the only Grenadian. And especially in the theater, you know, or dance companies that I've worked with, you know, not just only black person, but only one with my kind of vibes. With my kind of Grenadian vibes. I'm never afraid to exhibit that. I'm never hesitant to let people know I'm from Grenada. It's like the Mighty Sparrow. I mean, you know, like yeah, I'm a Grenadian.
Mm-hmm. And where in Grenada are you originally from?
I was born in a little village called Noel's Hill, St. James, in St. Andrews. I went to school in SAS in Grenville. Then I did a stint over at the Teachers College just before I started teaching. I was a teacher at Birch Grove for a little while, and before I traveled. you know. Then coming to New York, I did a stint at the New School for Social Research. Then I also went to York College and graduated from York College several years ago. We're not counting. And it's been a nice journey. I've done from taxi driver to a truck driver to whatever it is that you want done, cleaning people's apartments, to whatever it is that you know willing to pay me for, I'll do it.
And do you think that you have represented Grenada well in America?
I would say so. Others might differ, but I think I've done so. In recent times, I've gotten myself involved with a few projects. Very, very proud. I don't know if you remember when there was a huge fire in Guelph, and I think several families,
Yes.
lost their homes and so forth. And I was involved with organizing to ship nine barrels. Teach, who recently passed, from Guelph, he, along with his wife and several of us, we got together and we formed this committee that we were able to pool, resources, and we were able to ship 9 barrels to the families and individual, families. I'm very, very proud of that project. As a result of that project, I've been able to, I would say, make friends with. I even discovered a family member as a result of that project.
Yeah,
A
really.
cousin of mine who, I knew of her because her father is my, immediate cousin, close cousin, and his name was Desmond. He died now, and she was one of the members of the group. I did not know before, who she was, and somehow or the other, in conversation, we discovered that we're family, which was really interesting for me, because I know that he's had several children in that area, Guelph side, but I never met any of them, and so that was a major plus right there. Before then, and I would get criticized, or I don't know if it's condemnation or, well, you're not from Guelph, what you doing in Guelph, people doing Guelph thing, and they said Guelph, and I said, no, I'm Grenadian. Yes, I'm from Grenville. Yes, I went to school in Grenville. Yes, I'm from St. James. Yes, I went to school and I grew up in St. James. But Grenada is home, and it don't matter who in Grenada. Something wrong with McCall?
Though I was saying you're a Grenadian at heart.
At heart, yes. There you go. Very. That's a signal.
Grenadian at heart.
You do sign language?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. So
Can I ask you something? There's an argument going around about Grenadians who are living in abroad and who are not contributing to Grenada at all. And when I met you a couple of years ago, you kind of defied that myth because you were in the process of sending supplies to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Can you talk a little bit about that to us, please?
well, let me. Okay, I'll take in two sections, right? The Grenadians who are not contributing to Grenada, I think that's a
A myth.
I think it's a myth more than reality. There might be Grenadians who don't want to have anything to do with Grenada and don't want to hear the name Grenada mentioned. I'm not going to try to dispute that because I don't know every Grenadian. I don't know where their heart is, and I won't try to pretend like I do. But for the most part, my experience is that once you ask a Grenadian for help, there's a lady who gave me, in terms of that project you're speaking of, right? There's a lady who gave me $100, and it was at a bingo, and I'm still trying to remember her name. I did write the name down, and it's one of my reporter's notebook, and I can't find the notebook where it was written, and she donated $100 just out of me expressing to the audience at the time that I'm putting together this 40-foot container, which, by the way, went home in appropriate timing. The timing could not have been more perfect vis-a-vis the COVID virus pandemic. Pandemic. Okay, I say pandemic a lot of that.
It's pandemic.
Okay, it sounds more like a pandemic. Anyway, that's another part of the argument. But anyway, so also, as a result of getting this 40-foot container home, there's I think they call it the donation table. Dr. McIntosh at the, she's the director of, oh God, I don't want to get the wrong title. But she's one of the executives at the hospital, responsible for operations and what have you. And so she was able to coordinate the, if you will, arrival and distribution and so forth, so that all of the items we sent, and we sent, it's a 40-foot container. I mean, if you know those trailers you see on the highway, one of those. And we had crutches, we had walkers, we had rollators, we had canes, we had like 38 beds. We had dozens and boxes and more dozens and more boxes of diapers, adult day diapers and pull-ups and what have you. We've had, I had a thing, a flexi, like say for instance you get rheumatism or something like that, and they put you in this particular unit. I had one or two of those. We had hoists. I never knew that it's called Hoyer lifts or hoist lift or something like that. Hoist lift. I never knew what they were for, and I did not realize that it's the same thing that when you're trying to take out the engine of a car, and it's the same kind of a mechanics involved in terms of trying to lift a patient out of the bed. And so we had the hoists. We also had the bag that you have to put them in, and then they pluck them out of the thing, out to the bed, and so on. And you know, so the items that we collected, and I collected these from Grenadians as well as non-Grenadians. I collected these from friends of mine and friends of mine. There's a friend of mine, she's from Trinidad. She was the first person, I think she gave me, her donation was, I think maybe $250 or something like that on that trip. And she also got her friends to also donate to the effort. Yeah? Then we also had, she was the very first one. No, she's not Grenadian. And she does not have family in Grenada, as most Trinidadians do, but she was up front and center, you know? And we are eternally grateful for those people like that. So to go to that statement of Grenadians not contributing to Grenada.
Grenadians abroad.
Grenadians abroad not contributing. I wouldn't go that far, because we do have those who do. And willingly do. I mean, I would, like right now, I have a new, if you will, initiative, where, which is a continuation of what I started before. This time around, however, it won't be a 40-foot container, it'll be a half, it'll be a 20-foot container, but I'm collecting items for that as well right now. And so I'm asked, no, the last time I didn't have it. The organization where I was able to ask people to send the donations to, Family Renaissance, they're still willing to do that. And they are on Maple Street, 813 Maple Street, Family Renaissance Incorporated. It's a non-profit organization.
So that's the name of your organization?
No, my organization, it's a working name that I have right now. Yes. I call it for seniors.
For our seniors.
Yes. Or Healthy Grenada, you know, combination of the two. And what I'm trying to do, that's the organization, but we don't have all of the paraphernalias as an official, so that I'm using Family Renaissance or Dr. McQueen.
So you're affiliated with Family Renaissance.
He has given me the permission to use his
organization
as the fiscal conduit for these efforts.
Yes. And what's the address again and the telephone number?
I don't have the telephone number in
here.
But it's 813 Maple Street.
In Brooklyn, New York?
In Brooklyn, New York, 11203. 813 Maple Street, 11203 is the zip code. It's called Family Renaissance Incorporated. So, and I want to be very careful in saying to people that if you make a contribution there through that means, write them a check, you can reclaim that on your taxes.
It's tax deductible.
It's tax because they have that 501c3 status. My organization that I'm saying that I'm working with is not yet, have all of the paraphernalia to allow that.
Yes.
I also have a GoFundMe page.
Yes.
That you can make your contributions through that as well.
And what's the name of it?
And what did I say it again? Seniors for seniors, Grenadian seniors.
Yes,
I think it is.
Seniors for Grenada.
Seniors for Grenada. All right, there you go. And so people can put in, make the. So far, it's kind of a dragging. I set a target of $10,000. I'm not sure if I didn't. The last time I went for that number, I might have strike it, but it came in so dribs and drabs that. But I was able to pay.
So would you like Grenadians who
I would like anybody
to contribute?
Anybody.
And they can go on the GoFundMe page.
You could go on the GoFundMe page. They can write a check.
Yes.
As well, and make that contribution. It's open and it's alive and it's working.
Yes.
Yes.
So Grenadians abroad are doing their thing to contribute.
Not as much, not as much, and not as quick
as they should.
As I think they should.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, because I've seen charities, right?
Yes.
North America, and I say North America, and in one day they would collect over $100,000.
Yes.
In one day, and that is with people contributing from all over.
Yes.
Whatever the cause might be, I don't know how to call them, or whatever the cause might be. And if Grenadians would do the same thing, I would not have to be going around begging people to, offer $10 or $20 or $100, whatever have you, because the thing that what I think that happens is this. Prior to me doing what I'm doing now, there have been people over the years who have done similar and have not shown or a real accountability of, call it, where the funds went.
Trust.
So that there's a trust factor among some of us.
Yes.
If you go on my page, on John Crow's Facebook page, you will see pictures of not just the items being cleaned here, but you see the items being loaded on the trailer. You see pictures of the items being unloaded in Grenada. You see items of the hospital, the wing, and the items in use.
Yes.
So, in terms of thinking where the money went, the money that I collect, okay, I'm buying bins, right? I'm gassing up my car to go to Jersey, to go to upstate, to go to Long Island, to go to the Bronx, to go to Connecticut.
Picking up these items.
Picking up items. As a matter of fact, I got a call last night that at some point, maybe tonight or tomorrow, that I'm heading out to Jersey to make another pickup again.
Yes.
So that your monies are being put to use. And I don't know what the cost is for this second shipment yet. Whiskey, I'm going with whiskey this time around, and because the thing is, I inherited some items from a previous initiative that somebody else started, and they left the stuff in whiskey's warehouse, and it's been there for years. Not talking months, we're talking years.
So you're trying to
so
see
then
if you
I'm
can
going to
put them together.
Put all of that together and to get it home.
Yes, and is it possible that Grenadians in America can also make a contribution to whiskey for the shipment? Is that possible also?
No, they're not set up for that kind of
Okay.
So the best thing to do.
To come through your charity.
Right. They could do through Family Renaissance.
Yes.
813 Maple Street in Brooklyn, 11203. They can call me 917-676-2634. I had to make that number right.
And I will also find the page, the Google link on your Google page, and I will include it
on the broadcast.
On the broadcast.
That'll be very nice. That'll be very nice. Make it easy for people to
click on the link.
Click on the link and think. Can I make a drink here?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
so, Mr. Alexander.
Sorry to go to shape, out of frame. I'm telling the camera operator, sorry that I don't step out of frame to get it water.
So, Mr. Alexander, do you consider America home, or do you consider Grenada home?
Home is where I spend the night. Right now, Grenada is on a far distant horizon because of the COVID situation that we're in. I could never rule out home, Grenada, as home, whether I'm there for a day or a month or a year, what have you. Opportunities come in all kinds of shapes and forms. And when we look at, there's a serious question that we have to ask ourselves. when you look at Grenada today is not what it was like 40 years ago, right? We've had revolutions, and I'm going back as far back as Fedon, and as far back as even as far back as when the Indians jumped over Lippers Hill, right? That was a revolution,
Yes,
right? That was the Indian people telling the Spanish people to jump the hell out, leave us alone. So we are known to resist. We've had it where under Gary, we've seen that. We've seen it under Maurice Bishop, all right? We've seen resistance all along the way. We've exported it. Uriah Buzz Butler in Trinidad is a Grenadian, and he was one of the most respected, feared, and celebrated African on this planet. And if you don't know who Butler was, look him up.
Malcolm X, whose mother was from
Malcolm
Grenada.
X, his mother's from Ladig and so on.
Stokely Carmichael.
Stokely Carmichael's family, all right? So what I'm saying to you is that we are known to push the envelope. So while we're looking at Grenadians and saying that, well, this little island and you don't know nothing. You have to start reading and start really understanding. We might take things quiet for a little while, but eventually, and this is, no, I want to take you into the politics a little bit, right? I know you don't want to go there, but I'm going to take you there for a little bit. Our current leadership in our beautiful island seems to be, and I have to use that language, seems to be taking Grenadians for granted and think they can push stuff Grenadians' throat. You see what happened recently with the dog and that couple?
Yes, please.
Okay. While I'm not down the line of the necessarily on the white, black version of it, but that is Grenadians telling you that you cannot come into my country and do as you please. White, pink, yellow, Irish, dotish, idiot, whatever you call yourself, because we're going to push back. Okay? And that couple, they are very lucky, because back in the day, there was a thing that that young people don't know about called, we don't have a problem going sky red on you.
Sky red, correct.
Okay? Most of the younger generations don't know what sky red is. We don't have a problem coming out there with everybody have a bull pistol in their hand.
Yet.
Well, I'm just saying. So that they might, and it's unfortunate, and I have to say this now, I'm disappointed, right, inside of all of what has been happening recently, that the leadership of the country is quiet. Your citizens are under attack. There's a recent video with another white male deciding to challenge 3 to 4 to 5 black men with my accent in Grenada. And he's still alive today. Joe, Uncle Gary in his day, and this is one of the times I never ever thought I would ever live to say that Uncle Gary, that my name, will be putting Uncle Gary's name in a same sentence, right? But that guy was ahead of his time in his thinking of his country. And you come from wherever you come from, with whatever money you have, whatever investments that you promise or that you're going to do, he's not accepting you and your bad behavior. As soon as you step out the line, the next flight is at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Make sure that you don't miss the flight. Please don't miss that flight. That was Uncle Gary's style. And I'm looking at our leadership today. Like, okay, so we have a cricket stadium today, right? We have an athletic stadium today, yes? Right? We have what are the installations whatever the installations are. And which Grenadian has benefited from that? Which Grenadian has learned how to build a stadium from building of those stadiums in our country? Our leadership is not there. And I'm saying to my leadership, okay, and people might take it, well, I'm anti this or no. I'm saying to you, look in the mirror. This is your country. Stop allowing the foreigners to come. I mean, one colonial master replaced by another is still under colonialism, regardless is a Chinese colonial master or a British colonial master. You are still, and now even the British are saying to their leaders that what they did back then is wrong, and now they're talking reparation. while we trying to encourage and trying to dig ourselves in under the Chinese. What kind of craziness is that? Imagine, okay, we say the country is locked down, right? Beautiful Grenada, country's locked, everybody stay home, nobody go to work. How come the Chinese are allowed to go to work? The Chinese are working while the Grenadians are home, locked up in their house. What kind of equity is that? Okay? And these are the things that we have to be very careful how we allow people to step on us and not accept that anyhow.
So do you think that would be a hindrance of you returning to Grenada eventually? Okay, Grenada is home.
No. Grenada is always home. And even if I'm not living in Grenada, physically living in Grenada, I'm still in Grenada. Because I'm like, for instance, the stabbing that took place in Guelph last night. You heard about that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Sometimes, a lot of times, I'm calling my sister and my cousin and family in Grenada, and I'm giving them news of items and incidents that took place on the island, and they're on the island. So no, my finger is in that pulse. I had a guy attack me one time and say, well, you don't know nothing about going on, you don't know nothing going on, nothing going on, and I had to say, yo, okay, good for you. And so after that challenge, I said, well, I had to be a lot more in tune and astute of the happenings in my country. So I plug into several channels and several sources, and so that when I get information, it's solid information. Like right now, there's one other group I want to mention that I'm trying to work towards getting them home. They were home twice last year. They were home again, and they were there in 2016. That's HERO, Health and Educational Relief Organization. Health and Educational Relief Organization. HERO. It's a group of medical professionals, right? And they go all over the Caribbean and providing health outreach services.
Yes.
Free.
I'll put their information on the page as well.
Free. Important to say free.
Yes.
They mostly go to Guyana. But they were in Grenada and did that 7 fistula implant surgeries. 2016, they went back again last year. 2019.
What kind of surgery do they do?
Fistula implants.
Yes.
For people who are doing dialysis.
Yes.
So to put in the shunts.
Yeah.
So that way you could easily access the vein to do the transfer and what have you. Trying to get them to come in with a full entourage of services that they provide, as well as there's another one called OID, Organization for International Development. That now is primarily Jamaicans, but they have volunteers from all over. And Dr. Street, who is the head of this, he's a dentist. So as to come in again to Grenada and do some free dental services to our nationals.
Super sauce.
That's what I do.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander.
Help whenever I could help. What's Mr. Alexander?
Sorry, Mr. Jonko.
Jesus. And the Mr. thing.
So this is what Grenadians abroad are doing.
Well, I won't say this is what John Crow is doing.
Yes.
I can't speak for everyone.
Yes.
This is what there are groups like Valley Youth is a group that they do a lot of work as well. There are several organizations. I mean, there's a friend of mine, Cheryl, is in Atlanta, and they have a Grenada organization in Atlanta doing work. There's another one in Montreal where they, Gemma Baines and people like that, where they're doing a lot of work. There's another group in Toronto. There are Grenadians across North America, and England, who are doing a lot of work on behalf of Grenada.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do not do justice in terms of the publicity of this kind of a work that people do.
Yes.
But not everybody look and know how to do the publicity piece, as well as I do. So.
Yes, well, that's why Beautiful Grenada thought, let's get, because we have a lot of our fans, actually most of our fans are from either Europe or North America. And they're always commenting on our posts because they're away from home, and we kind of bring Grenada to them wherever they are.
Right.
And the idea of Grenadians abroad is to inform us Grenadians in Grenada and Grenadians in North America and Europe that Grenadians are working. Maybe not as much as we should be,
right,
but we are working, we are contributing to our country, and to get the word out about your organization. So now Grenadians have a way to click. They'll be able to click on the webpage and go to your charity, as well as the other charities that you mentioned. We're going to make it available and get the word out.
Okay,
Because it's getting the word out that is basically hindering a lot of donations.
True that.
So I'm glad you're here with us today. I will make sure that everyone knows about your charity.
You know what would have been really nice? Those students those people, and I had to emphasize people because for some reason in Grenada we have replaced people with persons. Those people who studied in Grenada and got their education and qualification at SGU, that if they would take advantage of something like this and put the money, now that they are making money, so to speak, and give something back to us. It would be so nice. Those former students and so on.
Yes.
To really and truly put us on the map.
Give back to their alma maters and
yes,
Grenada.
And to Grenada, because a lot of them came to Grenada for the education and they got an education beyond what they expected.
Yes.
Because the beauty alone of the place, and then they get a lot of preferential treatment. And if you're looking for preferential treatment, go to school in Grenada. they put out the red carpet for you always, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying some people get upset with that, but hey, listen, they somebody gave me the percentage of what their presence means to Grenada's economy, and it's quite high.
Yes.
It's in the double digits.
Yes.
So, which is remarkable. And we could use it. We definitely could use it. So that former students, I'm appealing to former students as well as to Grenadians, to let's keep the star on the hill,
yes,
shining bright. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
And no more sky red.
Well, no, Skyride is. You always have to be prepared for Skyride because people tend to forget and they step out of line, and you got to let them know that no, this is not where you're coming to.
This is not what we do in Grenada.
No, we don't know. You cannot come in there and to step on us and treat us any which way that you feel like, and then we're supposed to accept it.
Yes.
We might be poor, but we ain't stupid.
Amen.
And we don't tolerate nonsense.
Correct.
And we have a history of us not tolerating nonsense.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Regardless of who you are.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
I didn't mean to be so passionate.
That's okay.
I get
it. And that's why you're able to contribute the way you do to Grenada.
Absolutely.
I thank you. Please come talk to us again
sometime
in the future.
Anytime you're ready, just call me. Don't worry.
Okay.
I will stand on ceremony.
Thank you, John Crow.
You're welcome.
Okay. And we can find you on Facebook too?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. I'm always making trouble on Facebook. I'm a keyboard badger.
Thank you, sir.
The camera wrong, the camera lopsided. Camera.
Stepping off the plane, it's so easy to breathe again. Life in the big city has finally took its toll, and it's been so long, but I'm finally home. And what better place to rest my weary bones than on this beautiful island where there's so much to see, where every corner I turn there's something there to remind